Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docu-series.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can be can be very, very warm, like a soup, honey, or maybe just kind of like different parts lukewarm, different parts hot, different parts cold, like a badly warmed up casserole. It could be ice cold, like a ice sculpture, like where vodka was poured, like in the early aughts. Remember when we go to like parties and that was the thing? But at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Yay!
Hello, hello. All right, so today we're talking Love After Lockup, season 5, episode 10, Running from Love.
Okay. Why?
Hmm.
I have a quick question for you.
Yay.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Asking.
Oh, okay. If you have to for the rest of your life talk
Mm-hmm.
in an accent, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot speak a California word. It has to be phonetically from a place that is immediately identifiable, especially to the trained ear, but to just a layman not from around these parts for the rest of your life, that accent. And if you, of course, could give a little bit of it, that would be great. Well, yeah, silent, honey. She wants to be silent. She's a little Ariel for the rest of her life, on a silent retreat. No, I don't know.
Well, you put me on the spot. So
Oh,
here's the thing.
okay. So you can say it if you want to say it first and get into it. You didn't. You put yourself on the spot. I just asked you the
Well,
question.
what, well,
Okay.
no, 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 you're right. Okay, the problem is that when you say accent,
Sure.
I don't want to do a person who speaks a different language speaking English. I want to do different English speakers' accents. Do you get what I'm saying? So like Australian, South
Yes.
African.
Yes, that's true.
So that's what I was thinking. So then I was like, damn, I would do British, but all the different dialects of Britain, the only one like I don't even, and the one that I kind of know but don't know even well is like standard British, because I watch a lot of period pieces, and as of late I've been watching Poldark, and so that takes place in Cornwall, and in Cornwall they have a slightly different accent than they do in London, but most of the characters that I'm listening to are a part of the aristocracy, and the other parts of them are the regular people who speaks like this: "Tisn't right, tisn't fair, tisn't fit." And it's crazy, it's all over the place, right? So um I'm bouncing back and forth, right? But the black people who are in London or England, they don't sound like this. I don't know what they sound like. They don't sound like this, so it's weird. But then I could be Irish, which is even weirder for a black person. And I know there are black people there. I know they are, but or
Naima Campbell,
Naomi
embarrassed. All these. There's like so many like Pat
Naomi
McGrath, British people that are. Yeah.
Irish people that are
Are you talking about
black.
British people we were talking at first?
Yes, but I'm saying I wanted to do Irish, but then I was like, oh, there are Irish black people, but I don't see them as often.
So which one is the answer?
It is standard British.
Ah, yeah, absolutely.
That's what
You had
I'd be.
yeah.
Mhm.
You had first said Australian, so I thought maybe you were gonna pick Australian, like, when you were going through them, which is side note is I know you're a Drag Race fan, and so is
I'm
our friend
also a Drag
Amanda.
Race fan
Fane.
too.
I know. A fae, honey, a Drag Race fae. You could be a fairy for Drag Race, and I'm sure there's a lot. But anyway, she told me that she was watching, Caught in the Act, and, she was talking about how a way to and this is a fun game too, a way to get into an Australian woman's accent, especially if, I don't know if you knew this one, an Australian woman coming in and then saying, "Oh no," in a shocked way,
Or
or and
no.
yes. So it's supposed to be if you could just say R&R. Like, go ahead and say that.
R&R.
See?
R&R. Yeah, it is that. Courtney Act is her name. Courtney Act.
Well,
So
yeah.
Courtney Act.
I
But
did it for
then
45 minutes. R&R. Arr!
Arr.
Wait, do it
Aussie,
again.
Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Do you know that we have some British? There's some British people who listen to us. I was looking at our demographics, and it's 2%.
I'll take it.
I'll take it too. 2%.
Arr!
It sounds like you're saying, "Oh no." Isn't that what you're saying?
I'm supposed to be saying "oh no" in an
Yeah, that's what it
Australian
sounds like.
accent, but I'm saying
Mhm.
"Arr! Arr! Arr!
Yeah. So we've got 3% United Kingdom, 1% Australia, and 1% Malaysia. Isn't that crazy?
I'll tell you right now, I just got that 1% from Australia absolutely horrified, and they're gone. So, obviously, they're no longer there, honey, not at
They
all. But,
left us.
let's talk about this episode, Love
No,
After Lockup, and, it was a great episode, I think, in some ways not.
no.
And the ones that weren't great, let's just get them out of the way, would be Anthony
T-Rock and
and
Brittany.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
great. All of them. Okay, let's see if we could do. Okay, let's set a timer. Let's do this game. They were so boring. Let's get them done in 1 minute. Chris, do you want to take 30 seconds and talk about? Okay, no.
Yeah, no,
Great.
I
You
know, I
look
can't wait. Yeah, I will.
terrified. Look
I
at
know.
you, terrified.
I was
You're
gonna
like,
that
this is what you're like.
Arr! No, that face was
Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Let's do timer. Let's do 1 minute. And I'm gonna set it. I'll show it to you. You've got 1 minute to talk about Handy and Brittany, and I'll do 1 minute to talk about Key Rock and Brittany.
Why can't I pick? No, first of all, I don't think Handy and Brittany is a
Oh,
horrible couple that takes. I want to do Anthony and Sheraya, so you can do your minute for Key Rock and Brittany, which I believe in. But Anthony and Sheraya, I think, are absolutely meaningless in this segment.
okay,
Absolutely. So I'll do it.
that's fair.
I almost feel like you give me. What do you think? Want to give me 30 seconds? I can do it in less. What were you going to give me for Anthony and Sheraya?
Okay, I was gonna give you a minute.
Okay, I can do it in 30.
Okay,
I
ready?
I should have given
Wait,
myself.
wait. Remember, you have to do a minute because they have 3 scenes. They have
And also, I talk fast, so like, what are you gonna put these
okay, wait a
people
minute.
through?
Yeah, wait a minute. 1
What?
minute. You have get home from the party. You have wake up for sparkly makeup
You're
on.
gonna have to do that part because I don't care so much about that part. And then I'll get into
Wait a minute. Wait, what are we talking
job
about here?
15 seconds each. 15 seconds each.
Uh,
3 segments, 15 seconds each. You do this, you do the middle part.
we have
You
a
get
minute. We have a minute.
okay, fine. Okay, I'll cut to you and then you cut back to me when you want. I can do the bookends, okay? Because I don't care about this. I don't remember really. I mean, it's like okay, fine. I'll do it all. Give it to me.
Yeah, do it all. One,
Fine. Go
two,
ahead. Jesus
3,
Christ.
start.
Okay, so they're obviously coming back from like, at the party that no one showed up to on his side and everyone showed up to on her side. Her hair is still very much crimped. In the car, they're having to race back because remember, he has to get back before 1 a.m. like fucking Cinderella, before his PO knows that he was, late. He's like being whatever. She's like, okay, when we get back, run. She gets back. She's like getting out of the car. She's like booking it towards up the stairs. He is moseying. He gets exactly in at 1. And then finally, they're fine. He like charges his phone. He's chill. They go to bed. They wake up. She is perfectly made up, honey. Perfectly made up. The eyeshadow be sparkling. It's like, is it in her eyeball? Like it hurts. It hurts. In the morning, she's like very much momming him. He's like, oh, God bless. She's like, okay, we're ready. Get ready for your job interview. You ready for the job interview? He's like, look, she's a human resources professional. She always has to be proving that, which obviously we understand. So then she does a mock interview and she's like, what have you done? He's like, well, there's the resume. And she's just really low key. She's like, well, stop being low key and then stop giving the resume awkwardly in my hand and answer a question. And you know what? He's not going to get a job.
Oh, that's so funny. And you're right. He's not going to get that job. I wouldn't
Mm.
hire him at all. He had no questions at the end. No.
He doesn't want the job. Here's the thing. This is the truth. The best things you can possibly do is want something a little bit. Find the best in something. Find the beauty in something. I'm not saying everything is great, but like you will do your best if you care, about everything. So like do your best if you can in the situation if you want something. And I'm like, if you don't want it, then don't do it. But like here's the thing. Other people do want certain things. And so it's like don't waste your time if you don't like it. I mean, at the same time, she does mommy him. So okay, we don't talk about him more. I'm done. Okay, do you want to go ahead and do you want me to do this for you?
Key Rock and Brittany.
Do you have your Key Rock and Brittany?
Yeah.
Points? What do you
Yep.
want? So, yeah, your Key Rock and Britney points are what? The 3 segments
Uh,
or
don't
there's
they have?
got
Didn't they only have one segment?
yeah, it's pretty much yeah, that Godchild. So, I mean, do you still need a whole minute on this, or
Nope.
you think
I'm
you
ready
can?
to go.
How much time do you want for it?
45 seconds.
Okay, she says 45 seconds. Everyone, 45 seconds. This is like name your tune.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, ready and go.
Okay, so Rock wakes up and he has to call his best friend, or the best friend calls him, and we find out that he had Brittany go and get diapers and stuff for this little baby. The baby sparks Brittany's ovaries to crying. So Brittany's like, "Oh my god, how cute, Kirok! Don't you want that?" And Kirok's like, "No, girl. In fact, I don't even know if I want kids." So then they start having a argument back and forth of whether or not what marriage is made up. And he's like, "Marriage is made of two people." She's like, "Yeah, and a family." And he's like, "I don't even know if I want kids." And she's like, "What are you talking about? We have to start thinking about these things." And he's like, "I don't want to talk about it." And she's like, "You know what? I don't want to talk about it." And we're all like, "Oh my god, thank God. We don't want to talk about it either. Thank you."
Honey, beep, beep, beep. Okay, so except I'll tell you right now, we are going to talk about it because they're on the next season.
No, we're not doing it next season. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'll be
Who do we
honest.
want to
Listen,
come back? Who do we want? I'm not getting it back until Puppy and Amber are back.
I'm going to tell you right now, if you are listening to this podcast and you really are like, I need this love after lockup content from us, Juan needs your convincing because she's not into it. She doesn't feel like our numbers are up. She doesn't want to watch it. And so if you are like, this is the air I breathe. No, yeah, this is it. This is it for me. And without this, I don't know if I can go on. You have to get at us because we're not sure if this is for us. But we'll do whatever it takes to keep our lovers alive. So now we have interesting people, at least to me, though obviously Wall wants to get rid of Handy and Brittany. So let's move on with Handy and Brittany, and then we have like other people. So Handy and Brittany, so we're hot off the fact that Brittany is done tired of Handy's controlling ways, and she's also gotten as much money as she thinks she possibly can from him in this moment. And so, but she has entered this idea that she doesn't want to take the phone and she can't take the car because they're into the names, and it reeks of a past situation where someone else like got her arrested for rolling around with such so she's run outside in the past. We had seen her like talking to some person, but what she's truly doing is just screaming at cars like a dog barking at like a passing car, thinking that she could be like, "Can I buy your phone? Can I buy your phone?" Like, like the person is like, can't even hear her. Like, there's a screaming homeless person. Like, I mean, not that homeless people are screaming, but it's like this person is like, I don't know why this person would be screaming at me in my car with my windows up. I don't see how this person could logically understand a realm in which I would pull over and be like, "Are you talking to me?" And of course, I just it's just, but God bless. So there's maybe that reeks of privilege. You tell me. But after that, Handy, walks over to her and he's like, "Brittany, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Can I borrow your phone?" And he's like, "Why don't you use your phone, which is the phone I just gave you. Where is your phone?" And she's like, "It's in your car seat." And he's like, "Okay." And Gracie called. And I had just told her everything was fine. Just so you know, I totally lied. I totally told her everything was fine. Everything's great between us. I shouldn't have done it, but that is what happened. She doesn't say that. So she gets on the phone with Gracie and she's like, "Hi, Gracie. Um, can you get mom to pick me up at that? You know where the warehouse is?" And like Gracie's, I
No.
don't giving a real southern accent, but whatever. It's like great, yeah.
No.
Well, let me see what street this is. It's Filibuster and Sylvester Street, I don't know.
Okay.
Where's a warehouse, a church and a warehouse, and Filibuster and Sylvester Street. I'm gonna be there in front of that warehouse church. Tell grandma.
Okay.
Gracie's like, "Is everything okay?"
Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Just come on.
Yes, exactly. Just like staring at Handy in the face. Everything's fine. So then she goes with the film crew that's filming them, of course, to the warehouse church, whatever parking lot. And Handy pulls up, which is across the street, whatever, God bless. And he's like, can I just get in the car and can we just go home? What can I do? What can I do to possibly change your mind? She's just like, ugh.
Just me and you, no cameras, just me and you, just nothing. And
How
he's
did he
like,
just leave me alone?
the selfish me wants her to come with me because, I know that I know what's right for her, but the unselfish me just wants to go somewhere and be by myself because I'm not going to stay here looking like a dick because I got this house for the both of us, not just for me. And now that just had me going down the whole thing of like, is this Airbnb? What is this? How can you just pick up and leave if you got this house for the both of y'all?
And does that just mean that he got a house that was better than what he would if he would have gotten, or that he just got a house and he put up that phony backsplash in the kitchen and was like, "That was for her. That's her house too." He's so crazy. He's also like, "I know this sniff when an addict's got to get out. I know that sniff. She's aching to get out. She's itching to get out, honey, and I know what it means. I just want to make sure the mom is the one that picks her up." And the mom was the one that picked her up.
So I feel great.
Yeah. So that's,
Yeah. He
horrifying.
he took his cape off, he put it in the trunk, and he got in the car and he went to, I guess, his real home. Is he paying double rent? What is going on?
Now, we know as card carrying
Members of
professionals, yes, that they are together
Ugh,
to this day. I mean,
ugh.
I don't know if this Monday, November 20th, if they made it to this day, but to the past week, they have been
Mhm,
spotted. So,
mhm.
all right, baby boos.
Honey
Do
bunnies.
you wanna move on?
Mhm.
Okay.
Let's talk about Mikey and Chelsea.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So we start out this and we see that Mikey has himself a job, or at least he's doing something. He is riding a tractor or on some sort of farm machine and he's getting some work done. And there's some, music playing behind him to let us know as audience that work is a happening. And he gets off and he's talking to a gentleman who has lost a few teeth. It is a hallmark, a calling card of Love After Lockup. If you don't have at least one character on the screen on any given episode that is missing a teeth or two, is it Love After Lockup? No, it's not. So we
Mhm.
find out that this is his me grandma. Oh no, me. What is the pawpaw? I was trying to say,
Grandpa.
yeah, yeah, but you know how it's Mima and it's like peepaw. No, it's not.
He calls him
It's
Pat.
PAT.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's his grandpa or his pawpaw.
Yeah.
And he's just been helping his grandpa on the ranch and
Yeah.
whatnot. Then we have this fine ass man that walks
My
into the scene.
God.
Oh,
What?
Lord of mercy.
What? With the hairline, the man bun? I mean, that trestle jaw? I mean, like,
The chiseled jaw. We love a man with a chiseled jaw.
so many just he's also a saint, honey, because he's pretty much the reason why Mike's alive. Because,
Hmm.
like, Mikey was just, like, having fucking stroke on the goddamn floor and no one was doing anything, and this
Hmm.
man was like, this can someone fucking help this man?" And so, they really, like, those 3 men talk about how jail doesn't do shit. No, they don't do shit. No, they don't do shit. They won't do shit for you. You gotta really make sure because, yeah, they don't care. They don't care. They don't give a one shit, So you're just like, "Oh, God bless." These men have seen some things.
Hmm.
At one point, Mikey is putting spark plugs in the car. He's like, "I gotta get to Ohio and see Chelsea. I gotta meet the dad." And the dad hates me, and the dad thinks that this eye drop tattoo means I killed a person. And we're like, "Oh, it doesn't?" But then hot man bun is like, "Yeah, that's crazy that he would think that." And we were like, "Excuse me,
Yeah, it does
uh,
though.
buddies, come on." I mean,
Yeah.
like, here's the other thing. Don't get mad. I don't say this. It's so easy to remove tattoos now. Absolutely get that teardrop tattoo removed. You have a daughter, and, like, you can't be having a fucking teardrop tattoo, like, I mean, you have to know also that it means you killed someone. So unless you're going to really showcase and want it to be known that you fucking killed someone or whatever, like, or you're in some sort of, I mean, it does register as that. Like, it's just, I hate to say that. You can't have, like, there are certain symbols we have to understand mean something for someone else. I mean, I don't know. Is this mean for me to say?
It's not mean, but I want to know how much the tattoo removal costs and if it's saving him from getting his butt kicked in other. Like, what if in his community that him having that tattoo means that nobody messes with him?
Okay, maybe I'm trying because I was trying to think, like, if this was a cultural, like, it's not a cultural thing for him. Like, I wouldn't be, obviously insensitive to something that was a culturally relevant symbol that you would use, but, like, to me, and maybe I should do more research, it just Feels
But,
like a
you
a
know,
a gang sign in jail that, like, you've killed someone, you know?
yeah, I mean, I think you're right, but I don't see that there might not be any reason for him to waste the money on getting it removed. To what
It's so
end?
tiny. Yeah, you're right, but it's like it feels to me that, like, it's so tiny that, like, I mean, probably removed in, like, 2 sessions, and,
What do
like,
you
the first
mean?
session
What do you
uh,
how do you think how do you think he met Top Bun? Do you think they, like, met in elementary school or, like, junior high or
no, they
something?
I think they were in the cellmate they were cellmates together in the same prison. Oh, yeah,
Oh.
they were, like, sleeping in the same, like, they said, like, cot together almost, basically. I mean, I don't know about that.
Oh, that makes sense. Well, yeah.
Do you think that they were, like, a ra in racist g groups in prison?
Absolutely.
I know.
Abso-fucking-lutely. My next
I
door neighbor,
know.
Stacy, he was in the skinheads. It was so weird to find out. Skinhead, and this is the man who, like, basically was the neighborhood, like, big homie, and when he went to prison, he had to become a skinhead, and so one day I came to his house and, he used to borrow tools from my dad and hang out with my dad all the time. He was like Hector, but white.
That's what I'm picking up, you know?
Mhm, and then, like, my and then when he went to prison for, like, his, like, 8-year bid or whatever, like, my mom was the one who bought Miss Eleanor, his grandmother, who owned the house that he lived grew up in. Miss Eleanor, like, groceries and then would sit with her, or I would go and sit with Miss Eleanor. So when he got out, he was, like, very grateful because he knew we were taking care of his grandmother. And so, hung out tough, but then those skinheads used to come over, and then his brother Kearney had, like, a meth lab in the garage. It's, like, very dramatic. And then the FBI tried to turn us against him and was like, "Yeah, he has, like, swastikas in his, bedroom," which we knew. I mean, like, unfortunately, with the turning demographics of West Covina in the '90s, he got caught up in like, a white supremacy movement, but he was never rude to us.
I have, in my life, never come across someone who was outwardly white supremacist,
Oh, I
and
have. Stacy. Kearney for sure. Kearney was, like, weird, and then
I
he was
can't
like
imagine your story, like, your story is crazy, like,
he
that's
was like a
crazy
meth
to
head.
hear, like, I just can't even imagine, like, I can't imagine your mom, like, like, that's I can't even imagine, like, can't imagine your story for obviously many reasons. I haven't even met someone that, like, could even claim that,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
It was
In
like a weird thing because, like, the first time I got called the N word, I was walking home from school in West Covina, and, like, someone yelled it out the window, and there was, like, a weird, like, white supremacy, like, surgence that happened, and then they all went to prison because they were, like, selling meth and stuff.
good.
That was a weird seeing a raid. I was like, "What's happening?" You see, like, people jumping over the fence in the backyard.
Yeah. Oh god.
Um, but anyways, yeah, they came and knocked on our door. They have swastikas, and we were like, okay. Anyways, how's Miss Eleanor? Is she okay? Like we go over, and after they take them away, and they were like, look at this. It could have blow up the whole neighborhood. And we're like, okay, cops, we still don't trust you. We're black, so we're gonna go take care of Miss Eleanor. Thank you. It was weird.
My god.
Yeah. But anywho, so yeah, he
Are
100%
they
was
still
with.
there? Or, like, what happened to that house?
Oh no, they're still there. Miss Eleanor unfortunately has gone on to, our heavenly
That makes
Father.
sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, she's unfortunately gone on. But Stacy now has like a whole family and shit, and is like living in the house. He's literally lived there his entire life, and did his parents. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's got a family now and shit, and he's with the Latina lady, I think. Oh no, she's not. She's white, but
Really? Oh.
yeah, yeah. But no, he was never truly racist. I think he just got caught up, but because he was always chill as fuck. Um, Anywho, he's still a big homie. Anywho, yeah. So, anyways, like Love After Lockup. That
I
man is fine. But he meets a daughter, and then he buys his daughter. Like, listen, why you gonna tell that child that them diamonds is real? Okay, she gonna go to school and be like, my daddy bought me this necklace, and it's also what is real rose gold?
The rose gold is a plate, but then yeah, he said they're diamonds, they're real. At that point, I was like, but you didn't even have to do that part.
Yeah, you didn't have to.
All you had to say is, "Look, if this is real." And it is real. It's a
Hmm.
real piece of jewelry that he gave
Yeah,
his daughter. It's
it's a
true. It's
real
not like
piece of
made up. It's
jewelry.
not an NFT. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like in
yeah.
its flesh and blood, it's a real piece of jewelry. But
Hmm.
that was a lie. But he did it cute. He's like, which hand? And now that I think about it, one hand is covered in tattoos, and
Covered.
and one hand's not. And the little girl's like, not the one that looks like a normal daddy hand.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
like this was a very sad scene. So basically, we love this daughter so much, and she is raised well, and she is getting to spend time with her daddy, and he's like obviously going to go visit Chelsea and wants to move in there, and she doesn't want them to happen, and she expresses excitement that he is not going to go immediately propose to Chelsea on this trip. Which, by the way, I think he is right. He is
No.
going to do it. Okay.
No,
And
she
then well,
was
she won't even have sex with him yet, so it's actually kind of great.
yeah,
In
yeah,
this
yeah.
story, they haven't yet. And so the daughter's like, "Oh, good, goody, 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 good, good, good."
And I feel like that I was like, "Oh, that's you, Chris. You fully are like, great. I don't want either of my parents to get remarried. Thank you."
That's absolutely true. Oh, I wanted my mom to.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, get her off my hands. And she someone did, and I was like, "Thank God." And then he divorced her, and I was like, "Oh no," you know, you know. So God bless. So, basically, she's like, "No, I don't want you to marry her because I wanna live with you and I want all the attention." Of course, like, she just got out of,
Yeah.
never seeing her dad, and, like, she's, like, enjoying being daddy's little girl so much, and now he's being taken away from her again, and she's like, "Yeah, I feel like you're going to prison again." He's like, like, it's just it's sad because as much as nice as she is to Chelsea, she'll probably be like, why aren't you without me?" You know?
Mhm, mhm,
And the
mhm,
truth of the
mhm,
matter is, I always kind of feel like there's no good reason why a person should come out of prison and get into a relationship ever.
mhm,
So there's
mhm,
never a time in which I feel like it's good for them to ever to just get up and move and go somewhere unless they're trying to get away from the environment that like hurt them. I always
mhm.
feel like it's better to like, be with the children that you haven't ever really hung out with that much.
Yep,
But
yep, yep.
so that's so then we also have a scene which we kind of miss, which is between Chelsea and her dad, and her dad talk about, whatever he feels like as a Marine,
Mhm.
and loves, you know, jigsaw puzzles. Do you like puzzles?
I love them. I rarely do them because I don't have a space to just, like, come to it and do it and then walk away.
Yeah.
Um, if I
That's like
did, I would do them.
yeah, it's like that's absolutely saying, "Hey, you know what I totally have? A huge dining room table and no one eats with me every night or every
Correct.
morning. I have like I eat somewhere else. There's a nook or we in the couch or no one lives here."
Mhm, to touch it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yep. Yep. No, I try to, and then, in the space that no one sits in my parents' house, the
Mhm.
dining room table that literally not a soul eats at, my mother was like, are you gonna keep this here?" And I was like, "Are you have plans for this space?" And she was like, no, but I don't want this on on my table." And I was like, "Cool, I'll take it down." But, that's 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 why I don't do it. But I would really want to. I have 2 puzzles that I haven't opened yet because of that.
Ooh, honey, I wanna see.
Okay.
Okay, so, let's talk
Yeah.
about
No, then, then the money thing. Like, he finds out that she has 5K like, saved, and he asked her, like, "How'd you save it?" And she gets pissed off and doesn't wanna tell him how he saved it, and I'm like, "Well, then why the fuck do you tell him you have that money?"
Yeah, that part was interesting. Yeah, he wants to make it seem like she should tell him because he's afraid that she did something illegal, and he,
Mhm.
coming just out of prison, can't be like, messing up with anything like moving in with someone that's doing something illegal. Like he's like, I don't know, did she get it from a sugar daddy? Did she get it because she's turning tricks? And I was like, I mean, is this real? Did she get it from being something like what? First of all, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's it's
it's fucked up.
unlikely that she's done all of this, it's true, but also, like, don't tell people your money biz. I would never ask, but I've never been in a relationship, so I don't know if it's any like, if somebody were to be like, "Hey, how did you get $5,000?" I would be like, "What do you mean I have a job?" That would be my
Right.
like, thing of like, "Oh, I have a job." But also, like, I wouldn't tell them. You're just my boyfriend, like, you're not my husband. There's no reason for me to tell you about my finances.
Yeah, I mean, really, especially if you have children, it's just like,
Mhm.
oh, like, I don't know if he was like, "Well, I don't have the money for it." And she's like, "Well, I don't have the money for it." And then he was like and then I mean, I don't know if she had to, like, feel like she had to be like, "Well, this $5,000." I mean, I don't know if she, like, gave up too much of her information or see, the thing about it is when she goes and meets her dad, her way of telling her dad that this guy's good because he hates Mike and she wants him to like Mike is being like, Mike has a job, he has his own money, he's not after me and my money. Because Chelsea
Mhm.
has this whole thing where she was used for things before in her past, and that's one of the reasons why her dad like hates anyone that
Every
comes in
guy.
contact with her.
Yeah.
And so this conversation where he's now being hyper controlling of her money that he has no rhyme or reason to, he didn't give it to her and they're not together, is interesting because I don't buy the fact that he truly thinks that she's doing something nefarious to get it.
Correct. I don't buy that either. But I also think, Chris,
Right.
as consummate professional
Card carrying.
daddy's girls, how has Chelsea ended up with such shitbag men when her and her father have a relationship?
They don't have a good one. Just because they're talking now doesn't mean they have a good relationship. She's pointing. She's pointing in my face in a way of like, I see you, I get you, and thank you. And yeah, no, I mean, I looked at this man, I saw his house, and I don't think this person. Yep. So anyway, okay,
Well,
so should we
what
move
we
on?
do know, what we do know is he's proud to be an American.
And at least he knows he's free.
And this and the shirt he's wearing was copywritten somehow because they couldn't show it. And I said,
Mm.
what is that man wearing? Where we can't see it.
When Mikey was like, talking to his hot man friend and his, Pat grandpa and like, changing the spark plugs, his shirt was inside out. And I was like, is there something on this man's shirt that like was it a Nike logo? And they were like, quickly take it off, turn it back in. That's like the production way of saving a few bucks
Yeah.
in blurring fees. Okay. Louis
Louie and Melissa.
and
Now this
Joy in
was
Red after that, huh?
oh yeah. Okay. Do we want to end on a funny note or do we want to end on an annoying note? Let's do Joy. Let's do no Joy Know Me and Red because this shit that was annoying. You want to do that? Or do you
Sure.
want to okay. Red and Joy Know Me, y'all. Okay.
Brought no joy to me, says Wah.
Yes. So these fools get up in the morning. And,
They're leaving in the car, right?
oh yeah, no, they're leaving in the car. They start to fight in the beds where they're packing, so I thought they were getting up. So they're leaving, and they're like, "That's crazy, that's crazy." And she's like, "I didn't even feel welcome. They were saying, who's Joy? She doesn't even belong here. To be honest, I don't think I even want to come back and visit, but you can come back." And he's like, "Man, that's crazy." So I think it's the next morning. Remind me, did anything else happen after that?
When she's doing that, he's texting that crazy ass other woman, okay? And she's like, "Look at you, always on the phone, when we're talking about something important." And he's just like, talking to that person that he was getting the haircut and talking to.
Yeah.
And then she's also mad at him because his mother had spilled the beans or whatever, or dropped the
Yeah.
milk jug about him getting money from other females in prison, right?
Mhm.
And she's like, "Why couldn't you have told me that?" And he's like, "I was gonna, you don't want to do it my way, face to face. And she's
Mhm.
like, and he's like, look, yeah, listen. Sometimes when you wouldn't give me money, I would talk to other girls, and about only half the time did I even like actually video them. And she's like, "That means half the time you did video them." He's like, "No, that's not what I said." She's like, "That's
She's
not
like,
what you said." He's like, "No, not even half the time." She's like, "You didn't say that." And it's
I can do math. Half and half is a whole. So if you said half of the time you didn't, that means half of the time you did.
it's wild. And he's just like, she starts obviously boohooing and crying. I mean, and she's also upset because he has kept all of the naked pics from the women he would talk to in prison that also would send him money, which is
In a photo album. Chris, in a photo album, like a photo album from 96 with the like plastic film that you would get developed at a Walgreens.
that's true.
I have one. I
I
have one very close that I could pull and show our audience on Patreon at patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. That's crazy. That's crazy. And she goes through it and she's like, not me, not me. This is not me either.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So basically he then meets up with that woman from the thing, and she looks bananas in real life. I mean, she's a, what a
Yeah,
interesting. I mean,
drug
his types are all over
addict.
the. He doesn't. He's just. She
He doesn't
looks.
have he's like
I
me, he doesn't have a type.
I can't even. What he's just so happy to put his peenie in.
Weenie in. He got a he got mad at her because she was like trying to pack up and she was arguing with him about it and he's just like, "Man, you act like you ain't never done anything." And she's like, "Okay, bring it up again. I already said I was sorry for that." And he leaves. He's like, "Man, I'm going to go have a smoke." Meanwhile, he calls that biddy. That biddy comes and picks him up in no time flat. She was waiting in the wings, girl. She was waiting for her cue.
Hmm.
Okay. She was listening out, waiting for her cue to go on stage. So she picks him up. They go around. He's like, "Can I kiss you? Can I bite you?" The whole time. Every time he's like, "Can I kiss you?" I was like, "Whoa." She's like, "I want to mark you." And I was like, "Whoa." And then Joy is like, "Where is he?" So she, I don't know, must have tracked him on the phone.
This part was interesting because I wanted them to explain this a little more because yeah, we they don't like this. I was like, okay, she's either tracking him on the phone or the producers are telling her, or the fact that she can just see where the producers are. Because basically, this crazy pasty lady and this man go into like a Chevron and then they park like in a stall and then Joy like runs up and they're like making out. He's like giving her a hooky at the time and she like rolls around. And he's like, "Ah, it's Joy," and like she like is like, "Where are you guys?" Like she doesn't really know they're there. It's like she knows they're there, but she doesn't see, like, we don't. The editor didn't do a good job of linear. Like it wasn't like you see Joy be like, "What?" And then you see like her be like, "Is that like like you don't, because she doesn't know that he's in a car with this woman, I guess. So that's what's confusing. Like she doesn't know what the car or what this pasty lady looks like. So then they pull out and they go to a hotel where they're just going to bone in. And then the next shot is Joy Nomi in the parking lot of that hotel. And we're like, well, is there an air tag on him? How does she know he's here?
Yeah. We don't know where she's at. And then she's like, "He's just like everyone else, just leaves me without any regards to my feelings." And so, yeah, she's just feeling really abandoned by him. The fact that he could just get upset and just say he's going to go smoke a cigarette and completely just leave her and ignore her and not answer her phone. She's answer his phone. She's called him what she says like 30 times. And then finally he answers her and he's like, "I'm at my mom's house." And so she's like, "Cool." So she has a plan that she is fed up. She's going back to New Mexico alone and she's going to drop his shit off and she's going to leave him there. And that's exactly what she does, which is so shocking to us and Red.
Yeah.
Red is fully not expecting her to do that. He's like, he feels kind of justified in his behavior. He says that what he did was wrong, but he's like, "Man, not only did she cheat on me with one person, two
Not a
people,
one, not a two.
not a three people." How many licks does it take? Anyways, and so he's like, "Man, like, give me a second. Like, I deserve to be able to just go out into the world and bang it out."
Yeah.
And I've been in jail for 10 years. And to a certain degree, like, I kind of agree with
He's not
him.
wrong.
I agree with him.
What are you gonna do? I mean, it's just it's reason like and reason 14 billion why someone out of prison shouldn't have to be like
In a relationship.
beholden to someone else in a relationship, because what they have to do is get their lives and minds and lives right. And it's just that's hard to do, period. Can you
Hmm.
imagine? First of all, I try to do that every goddamn day of my life, and I didn't just like come out of a whole situation where my freedom was taken from me and I have to readjust to society and everything. So
Yeah. Chris tries to get her life, her mind, and her life together.
same thing. My body, my face, stay prepped. So she doesn't have to get it ready together. Do you hear that, bitches?
Bitches.
Anyway, so all right, let's move on to, I mean, yeah, that's basically, that was great. I'll say this. I was really happy for Joy because obviously she has zero self-esteem and everything she does comes from a place of truly hating herself and feeling like she is not worthy enough. And then for this one moment we're like, "Oh my God, she's happy. She's get it." But I just don't know if it's real. Like when she was like, "Just get your shit," and then he had the audacity to like open up the back door and try and get in. She's like, "No, Red. Red, what are you doing?" Anyway.
Yeah.
Um Sozy Wozies, here we are,
Let's move
and
the woozies, onzy onesies to who do we say? Oh, Louis and Melissa. Now this felt very strange. And listen, I would like to give Donna a Golden Globe. If not a Golden Globe, I would like to give her a Screeny or whatever, something just like basic for reality TV, because this whole introductory of like Michelle and her dumb hair. What part of California do we think Michelle is from? I think she's from like
Bakersfield.
no, I think she's like from Anaheim
Yeah.
or like what's another Orange County? Not Tustin. She's like from
It's not like Huntington Beach is too coastal, so she'd have to be
yeah, she's
from.
not. She's inland. She's more inland. She's like from. Oh, let me look at a map. When she said from California, I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. Like where's Sublime from? They're from Long Beach, not Long Beach. She's not a coastal city. She's. Oh, why can't I think of these effing places?
It's like Anaheim, Tustin, Santa Ana,
Santa
Orange.
Ana. Yeah. She's like from Santa Ana or Orange. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that.
This
She's
is like
giving
if
that
you
vibe.
are a podcast listener, you're like, what the fuck are these bitches talking about? And it's just very nuanced Southern California banter.
It's
We're really sorry.
super, super nuanced, and I'm not sorry one bit. You'll be fine. I would give her Santa Ana 100%.
By the way, Santana is definitely where I went to high school.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mater Day. Mater Day.
Do you know about
I know about storied monarch. I know storied careers of football legacies in high school form. They did me no good because I was a theater nerd, and so the money went to them and not to me. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I was going to ask you about because I only know about like Bishop Amant. That is a Catholic school by where I lived. So do you know about Bishop Amant?
Yeah, I think we played them and we definitely would have won. We're CIF Division 1 champions. I mean, there's no one better. We even won against Sierra.
I want you to know right now that I don't give a shit. Okay,
I know. I don't
care.
care.
I don't care if you
but
won against them. I'm just asking about like I'm just asking about like the Catholic high schools that I would have known of. So like Bishop Amant, and then there's like another one. There's like a St. Lucy's. That's an all girls school. You know about St. Lucy's?
We played them in football.
I don't. Shh. What's the boy one? There's St. Lucy's and there's a boy one. Huh?
Servite?
Oh no, never mind. It's okay. Let's move on.
St. John Bosco's?
Bosco. Yeah. Anyways, I didn't really know about that world, but I do know something. So I was just trying to relate to you and say like I don't know, but like these are the schools that I've heard of. But you wanted to
I'm relating to you by being like we're better than them.
Yeah.
Okay, so we would won against Sierra Canyon, which is like
okay, girl. Who cares about the footballs?
Oh Jesus! Wow, you really let me want to have one thing in my life. Okay, good. So let's talk about them. So then, obviously, he's getting his teeths, and so this whole thing is weird. Where it's like, what Melissa's mad about is the fact that he hasn't gotten like a white collar executive job yet with his broken mouth and like saved enough money and become a completely different person, not the person that she quote unquote fell in love with, a completely different responsible man that's never been the person Louis has been, who's separate from his mother, to be like on his way to get himself to Jersey. But what she has done is just for some reason not understand how expensive that mouth would be to fix, and then she's like mommied him and then given him money for that, and now he lives with Donna, where she's going to like nurse him back from this teeth extraction surgery, and he's flipping pizzas, and she is like, you know what, Louis? Yeah, I'm not going to be able, a big emergency happened at work. An emergency happened. And when things happen, there's only one person they could go to get the mail delivered. It's me.
I literally wrote down a postal emergency ? And then he ends up saying it later on, which I was so annoyed by, but also happy by, because it's so fucking stupid. No, you don't have to be at work. You can just say you need time. What are you like I don't understand what position you are. She's a carrier, so she has rights. One, there's no emergency. Two, she's mad at him for like Donna taking care of him, or I don't know. And then Donna's mad. Show the picture. Do you have the picture of like all the shit in her house? That's like wild. Why does she have all? Does she just come from the grocery store? And we don't have it pictured here, but in front of that refrigerator behind her is just a bunch of stuff on the ground. I'm like, ma'am, I get it. You let the camera crew in your house, but it is Clutter McGee in that home.
Donna's like, I'm gonna make sure that when you get out of the surgery, you can have all the soft foods. So here's Kool-Aid flavored jello and all the progressive chicken noodle soups. Don't worry, the chicken noodle soup isn't soft enough. So what I'm gonna do is put it all into a blender with the Kool-Aid jello. I'm gonna put it on, mix it. We're gonna masha, which is Italian, I guess, for mash. Make sure it's nice and masha for my baby boy in his new mouthpiece. And
Oh
then
my god.
then that's when Melissa calls. She's like, "Oh fuck, Melissa! Like, how could you even like her? She hates me." And I want like, "Oh, I'm sorry, the woman that's paying for your son's new mouth.
Yes.
First of all,
So
you
that he
treat
can
her
get
with
a job.
respect." Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, that's when Melissa's like, "I can't come," and I think it's weird. And then he eats his mom's like kind of like brown chicken. He likes the brown chicken. Well, okay, so there you go.
That was unidentifiable meat. It wasn't chicken or it was pork. I don't know
Veal.
which.
Maybe it was veal.
Oh.
So later on, then they go to get the teeth done. And this is a weird situation where the dentist comes out and is like, "Hey, guess what? The water's off in the building." No, it's like a weird water main break that's going to be fixed maybe or not in 30 minutes. So just sit here. No one called you. That makes sense. It's this surgery is $5 billion. Okay. And then then he calls Melissa, and Melissa picks up immediately, and he's like, "Hey, Melissa, where are you?" She's like,
Work.
work." Like I said, like I was at work, not in her uniform, like her hair down. He's like, "Oh, where?" She's like, "Where are you?" And he's like, "Getting my teeth fucking fixed." And she's like, "Yeah, it is weird because I don't know if it's gonna happen." And she's like, "Oh, well, who you with?" And he's like, "What do you mean who I'm with?" Like he's like, "Why are you even bringing up who I'm with?" Because she's of course bringing it up because she's mad that he just didn't go to, I think, surgery by himself.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
like,
know.
or that she's mad that he's not more of a man that got like Dan or a male friend. It's like she's mad that he's such a mama boy and he doesn't know it enough to like do anything to fix it, like separate himself or disconnect himself. But he's not. He's living with his mom. Mom's gonna take him to surgery. Mom's gonna make Kool-Aid, chicken soup mash for him, like all of it. What?
Yeah, it's so weird. So then he's like, mom is yelling in this ear. Melissa's on the phone complaining. So he gets up to go outside and then he FaceTimes her and he says, I'm going to FaceTime you. So he
Hmm.
FaceTimes her. She
Hmm.
answers the phone, not in a uniform. And he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, nothing. And he's like, you're not at work. And she's like, no, actually, I decided not to come. It's too much for me. Let's take a break. And he's like, what the fuck? So you're breaking up with me? And she's like, no, let's take a break. And she's like, I need you to be more manly. You all, Chris just I'm gonna do the rest of the podcast by myself. She had an emergency, as you can hear. She completely just like jumped off the couch and no, she just has mic issues. So, anyways, anywho, so yeah, so he's like, listen, I'm gonna be a man and I'm gonna do something. And so he hangs up on her. And then Donna starts to flirt with the receptionist in order to get Louis in good with her. And then Louis asks the receptionist out on a date. And the receptionist is like, I will maybe think about going out with you, mainly because I just met your girlfriend.
Okay, if this receptionist named Michelle, is this Michelle?
Yeah, Michelle from Santa Ana.
Yeah, Michelle, who has a top knot on the top of her head. You know who she would look great with?
Mm-hmm.
Dan, Mikey's friend, who has that man bun. Boy, do they
No, he
really
look
enjoy
good
like a
with me.
top. No, it's a tight up hairstyle. Um, yeah, so that's basically what happens there. Yeah, Melissa seems over it. I think that she's just like, yeah, like I would, I'm just your mom, and like I don't want to turn into Donna, and they're basically bossy Italian women. But I
Mm-hmm.
did love Donna using some Italian this
Mm-hmm.
episode. It was ideal. But Donna also, yeah, like the fact that Donna wouldn't have any gratitude for Melissa paying $5,000 for your son not to have a mouthful of like domino pieces is crazy to me.
Yeah, it is crazy. But Donna's crazy, so it tracks.
You're right. All right. So, is that all you have to say about them, babe?
Yeah, that's all I have to say about them, babe.
Why Why are you being funny?
It's fun.
Okay, so that's all we have to say, babes. Thank you so much for going on this journey with us. And, we obviously really, really like you. And
Mhm,
we want you to be our friend and we want
mhm,
you to give us 5 stars.
mhm,
And if you did want to give us 5 stars, we're
mhm.
just going to tell you, oh no, just keep that shit to yourself. But you can also follow us on Instagram at DocuSweeties on Instagram, at DocuSweeties on TikTok. Shut up.
Oh, no.
At DocuSweeties1 on X/Twitter if we ever think about that thing again. And then the Facebook group, that's the DocuSweeties podcast Facebook group. So that all exists for your perusal and your joinal and your following, subscribing, and liking. And we love you so much. And then at the same time, you also could see us in this moment. How? Wow, how?
You could do so on patreon.com/DocuSweeties. It's $10 a month. You get the visuals of what you're listening to, and you also get exclusive content, including a live every first Monday of the month. So if you have a little extra cash and you want to support your girls, please go to patreon.com/DocuSweeties and join our Patreon. And, you know, you guys have a good one. All right. Bye.
Bye.